Coming up on News Live at 6, Remembrance Week continues at SU, and Citrus TV reporter Oscar Offerman will tell us why the annual event is such an important part of the university's history.
Results are in from Canada's elections last night. Justin Trudeau is still the Prime Minister, but his Liberal Party lost the majority in Parliament. What that means for Canada, next.
And despite temperatures being in the high 50s today, Syracuse October is in full effect. I'll let you know if this muggy weather is going to persist. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
We start tonight with our continuing coverage of Remembrance Week on campus. Good evening, I'm Jonah Karp.
And I'm Lilia Wood. This afternoon, Remembrance scholars sat for 35 minutes on the Syracuse Quad for the 35 students who lost their lives on Pan Am Flight 103. Citrus TV reporter Oscar Offerman is in studio to break down the history of this important week on campus.
Thanks, Lilia. There has already been a candlelight vigil, a ribbon tying, and the 35 empty seats display as part of this year's Remembrance Week. But what some students might not know is why this major campus event is so important to so many. On December 21st, 1988, Pan Am Flight 103 took off from London Heathrow Airport headed for New York. But the flight never reached its destination. An explosion on board brought down the aircraft near the town of Lockerbie, Scotland, taking the lives of all 259 passengers and crew. 35 were Syracuse University students returning from studying abroad in London, with an additional 11 killed on the ground.
It was a very somber place. I think it was a place of just people couldn't believe that something like this happened.
Every year since the crash, Syracuse University has allocated 1 week per year to be Remembrance Week, a memorial and a vigil to the lives that were lost.
Back then, this didn't happen to our community, to our friends, to our family. This happened on the other side of the world. So I think it was just a stunned disbelief and then just a really profound sadness and sorrow.
This year marks the 31st anniversary since the crash of Pan Am Flight 103 and also the 30th year of the Remembrance and Lockerbie Scholarship programs. Every year, 35 SU juniors are selected to represent one victim of the crash as a Remembrance Scholar for their senior year. Remembrance Scholars are also responsible for the planning of Remembrance Week. The Lockerbie Scholars are 2 students from Scotland chosen to go to Syracuse University for 1 year.
And they are enrolled in the College of Arts and Sciences, take classes just like they would if they were a Syracuse student, but they're also integrated into the Remembrance activities, and they plan Remembrance Week right along with the Remembrance Scholars.
And Remembrance Week continues this week with the Mirror Me display all day tomorrow and the All-American Terrorism panel discussion in Gifford Auditorium tomorrow at 7 p.m. Jonah and Lilia, back to you.
Thanks, Oscar. And another event for Remembrance over an hour. The event is part of the university's LGBTQ month. It's also dedicated in remembrance of Pan Am Flight 103 victim Miriam Wolf. It's being sponsored by the University Union, the LGBT Resource Center, and the Disability Cultural Center. Tickets are free. And also happening at 7:30 tonight, a Syracuse alum working as a newscaster in TV's biggest market returns to the Hill. Marcus Solis reports for WABC in New York City. He's covered some of the biggest stories of the past 2 decades, including the September 11th attacks, the 2010 Haiti earthquake, and the Boston Marathon bombing. Solis is a 1991 graduate of the Newhouse School. He'll speak at Hendricks tonight at 7:30.
And earlier today, this video was sent to all ESF students regarding the October 12th incident where someone broke into an ESF building and tipped over a Musk Osk in an exhibit. An email asked if anyone knows who the individual may be to contact the UPD at 315-470-6667. You can see the number on your screen right now as well. And the SU community is mourning the loss of one of its trustees. The university recently announced trustee J. Patrick Barrett died after a battle with leukemia. Barrett served on the board of trustees for 3 decades. He was also on the Maxwell School Advisory Board from 1991 to 1997. Barrett was 82 years old.
Oh, we don't have windows in the studio, but when I got here, it was raining, and it was raining a lot, Lilia.
I know, I was soaked, but let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Adam Sperling, who has the latest forecast. Adam?
Not shockingly, it is still raining outside. It's about 57 degrees, some 7-mile-per-hour winds. The rain's not only coming down, it's coming at you, and it's not really exciting for me. But the rain is going to be sticking around through the evening. Taking a look at our Tuesday night rain planner, rain will be sticking around probably until about midnight. Now, 57 degrees, going down to about 54 degrees by 2 a.m. You're going to expect to see some rain throughout the night, 8 p.m., 10 p.m., 12 p.m., chance of rain steadily decreasing, but we are going to be seeing some rain. Now in my full weather forecast, I'll have your 5-day forecast. Jonah, Lilia, back to you.
Thanks, Adam. The I-690 is now back open after a crash this morning. The crash occurred around 7:50 this morning at exit 11 and exit 12 towards West Street and West Genesee Street. The incident caused the right and center lane to close, but the crash was cleared within the hour.
Former DeWitt doctor Robert Newlander is set to get a new trial in the death of his wife. New York State's highest court ruled earlier today Newlander will get a new trial after his conviction was overturned in 2018, after juror text messages were released about the trial. Newlander was convicted in 2015 for murdering his wife and trying to make it look like she accidentally fell in the shower. Newlander was originally sentenced to 20 years to life in prison. The date for his new trial has not yet been set.
Also new today here in Onondaga County, the U.S. Department of Justice is giving the county about $250,000 to beef up the school security. The DOJ is giving over $85 million to schools across the United States for greater school safety. It'll go to teaching students and school staff new ways to prevent violence on school grounds.
New legislation by Governor Andrew Cuomo may prevent higher costs when receiving emergency care. He says insurance companies must comply under the new law to make sure patients don't face higher out-of-pocket costs. Cuomo says someone facing life or a death situation should not stop to check if hospitals accept their insurance. This new legislation is already in effect.
And coming up, one of Trump's recent tweets has him at the center of controversy. Why he posted it, what he posted, and why politicians are criticizing him.
And bad news for another president. Former President Jimmy Carter is in recovery after being hospitalized last night. Why he's in there and what spokespeople are saying about the 95-year-old's health. That and more after the break.
Found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Jonah Karp, Lilia Wood, Adam Sperling, and Liam Crowley. Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Trump, the source of some controversy today after comparing Democrats' impeachment inquiry to a lynching in this tweet, writing, quote, "All Republicans must remember what they are witnessing here, a lynching." South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham backed up Trump's words earlier today as well. He stated the impeachment process is, quote, a lynching in every sense. This is un-American.
Many are criticizing the two politicians for their use of the words due to his historic representation of white nationalism and brutality towards African Americans. According to the NAACP, nearly 4,743 lynchings occurred in the United States between 1882 and 1968. Of these, nearly 3/4 were black. Many other politicians have released statements condemning the president for his choice of words. And former SU Ambassador William Taylor has testified about President Trump's impeachment probe. Taylor gave a long opening statement that revealed information about Trump.
Taylor called Trump crazy for trying to bargain with Ukraine for military, and Taylor, the U.S. ambassador, was appointed to run the U.S. Embassy in Kiev in June after Marie Yovanovitch was fired in June. Former President Jimmy Carter is recovering from a pelvic fracture after he was hospitalized last night. It is the second time in a matter of weeks the 95-year-old fell in his home.
A spokesperson for the former president's nonprofit says he's in good spirits. The former president still stays active, building homes for Habitat for Humanity and going to church. He is also a cancer survivor. And new details in the Varsity Blues scandal. A grand jury in Massachusetts filed additional charges against actress Lori Loughlin and 10 other parents for allegedly bribing universities to accept their children. If convicted of all charges, Loughlin could face up to 40 years behind bars.
USC also released a statement on Monday which says Loughlin's daughters, Isabella and Olivia, no longer enrolled at USC. Loughlin's team isn't required to return to the federal courthouse until 2020. The latest out of Canada, Justin Trudeau has been re-elected as Canada's Prime Minister, but his Liberal Party has lost the majority government. Scandals plagued both parties, and Trudeau threw out the 40-day campaign, but it was not enough for the opposition to challenge them.
The Conservative Party made gains in Western Canada, even winning the popular vote, but could not make the ground in the East. Ultimately, there will be 5 parties represented in Parliament. This minority government means all parties will have to work much harder to pass any legislation. And British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says that the Brexit bill will be pulled if Parliament imposes a longer timetable. Johnson says that he called a vote on holding a snap general election in order to have a decision made by October 31st.
This move puts pressure on lawmakers to approve the bill. Johnson's Brexit deal was turned down by Parliament after he received support from 27 other EU leaders. People in Bolivia are destroying ballot boxes in protest after confusion broke following their general election results. Incumbent President Evo Morales appeared to have won the election outright, sparking the unrest.
It appeared that the election would go to a second round between Morales and Carlos Mesa. Counting is still underway as it appears that Morales does not have enough votes to prevent a second round of their election.
Turkey's president is threatening to continue his attacks in northeast Syria. President Erdogan says he will only remove troops if Kurdish fighters leave the border before a ceasefire ends.
This offensive started after President Trump ordered U.S. troops to leave the border area. The United Nations says over 170,000 people have been displaced from Syria over the past 2 weeks due to the fighting.
And is today's rainy gloom on its way out the door? Coming up, I'll have your full weather forecast and a look at the rest of the week.
And 2 major CEOs stepping down from their companies. Today, find out why leadership roles at Nike are changing and the other athletic wear company to announce the CEO change earlier today. Don't go anywhere.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader. From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
57 degrees here in Syracuse. 7-mile-per-hour winds at the moment. Rain will be persisting through the night, but taking a look across central New York, we're going to be seeing temperatures just about where we are in Syracuse, low of about 55 here in Cortland, and a high of about 59 in Elmira and Ithaca. It's raining all across central New York. But tonight in Syracuse, it's still going to be raining until about 2 a.m. It's going to be 47 degrees as our low, and it's going to be 5 to 10 mile-per-hour winds throughout the night. But taking a look at Wednesday, much improved. It's going to be cold in the morning with a low of about 48 degrees for the day. Strong winds midday at a temperature of about 55 degrees by noon. By 6 p.m., 53 degrees. And there's going to be no rain, but you will be feeling some wet sidewalks. And one quick look at our 5-day forecast. Thursday, high of 61, low of 42. May be the last 60 degrees we see for a very long time here in Syracuse. Friday, it's going to be 54 degrees, low of 38, with a frigid evening. Saturday, high of 56, low of 43, and Sunday, high of 56, low of 48, and we're going to be seeing some rain.
Thanks, Adam. Athletic wear giant Nike announced earlier today that their CEO is stepping down. Mark Parker has been the CEO of the company since 2006. He will be replaced in January by John Donahoe, who was formerly the CEO of eBay and is chairman of the board at PayPal. He's also on the Nike board member. Parker, who has worked for Nike for 4 decades, will become the company's executive chairman. The change is set to take place in January of next year. And another athletic wear company is seeing leadership changes, and the CEO of Under Armour is also stepping down. CEO and founder Kevin Plank is being replaced by the current Chief Operating Officer, Patrick Frisk. Plank was the company's CEO since 1996, starting the company from his grandmother's basement while he was in college. Plank says Frisk is the right person to be the company's new leader. The founder will stay with the organization, but as the new executive chairman and brand chief, who is taking the position on January 1st.
For all you Verizon users out there, if you love Disney, we have some good news for you. Verizon will be offering its customers a year of the new streaming service for Disney Plus for free. Those eligible for this offer are new and existing Verizon Wireless Unlimited customers and new Fios home internet and 5G home internet customers. If you're a Verizon customer and already pre-ordered Disney Plus, you're also still eligible for this service. The purchase will be placed on hold and resume after the free period. This move helps Disney move into an already competitive streaming market.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse football has yet to find its stride in ACC play, and the task doesn't get any easier this week. Plus, men's soccer made up a game that was canceled by weather. It still rained today, but we'll tell you the final score on the other side.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. It's going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go! Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television. You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
I'm Karl Moeglein. For Syracuse football, this season has brought few highs to match those of 2018. The Orange won 10 games and had memorable moments like taking down Florida State for the first time in over 50 years. The struggles this year began on the road, and a battle with Pitt in the Dome brought hope to Central New York. However, Syracuse fell behind early and saw its comeback attempt fall short. The loss to the Panthers drops the Orange to 3-4 and still winless in ACC play. Redshirt senior Clayton Welch replaced an injured Tommy DeVito against Pittsburgh and may see time in Syracuse's next game against Florida State. SU coach Dino Babers did say that DeVito will play if he is healthy. However, Babers knows that the Seminoles pose a challenge no matter the Orange's quarterback.
Because you never know when the next guy is going to be up. And that energy and that camaraderie and that staying together and having faith, belief without evidence is what, to me, is what makes football football. So we're excited about our opportunity. It might be a David versus Goliath type situation, but last time I checked the history books, I think it happened once. Maybe it might be able to happen again.
The fall weather has had a major effect on the Syracuse men's soccer season. To make up for canceled games, the Orange hosted SUNY Morrisville today. The Mustangs play in Division III of the NCAA. The Orange cruised to victory thanks to 2 different hat tricks in this game. Ryan Raposo, he got one of them. Massimo Ferrin, he got the other one. They combined, though, for 10 points, add two assists, to both their names. SUNY Morrisville was held without a shot on goal. Syracuse, though, blasted 23 shots on cage. The Orange returned to ACC action against NC State on Saturday. Meanwhile, in the pros, the Jets' struggles reached a new low against the Patriots. New York did have the services of QB Sam Darnold, unlike in their Week 3 loss to New England. However, it was once again a resounding defeat for the Jets. New England kept constant pressure on Darnold that led to 4 interceptions. Add in a fumble and just 86 yards, and the USC graduate finished with a 3.2 quarterback rating. The top-ranked Patriots rushing defense also kept Le'Veon Bell at bay. The All-Pro back ran for just 70 total yards. The Pats were patient through the air and dominant on the ground. Running back Sony Michel had 3 rushing touchdowns. The Jets fall to 1-5 this season. The Patriots are now 7-0 for the 3rd time in team history. And the Nationals' quest for their first World Series crown against the defending champion Astros begins tonight. Pardon me, not defending, 2 out of 3. Get that one right. Washington, though, finished the season 14 games worse than the Astros. Now it comes down to a 7-game series. Houston will send ace Garrett Cole to the mound to defend its home field advantage. The right-hander's hot streak stretches back to the regular season. Cole is undefeated in his past 25 starts with an ERA under 2. The Nationals counter with Max Scherzer. The 11-year veteran has not pitched in the World Series since 2012. Not only is it Washington's first World Series game, the team had never advanced in the playoffs in team history. Plus, October means playoff baseball, but also the return of pro basketball. All 30 NBA teams return to action this week. The season officially tips off tonight with a pair of games. First, the defending champion Raptors host the revamped Pelicans. Question marks for Toronto around how the team responds to the loss of Kawhi Leonard. Question marks for the Pelicans, who will be without injured #1 draft pick Zion Williamson. Some answers, will finally come on the court tonight. Plus, the battle for LA has been given a new fire by the infusion of stars. Leonard traded the Great North for the City of Angels. Now he will don the Clippers C. Meanwhile, the Lakers were disappointing in LeBron James's first season. Tonight, he is joined by Anthony Davis for the first time.
Thanks so much, Karl. Really appreciate it. We'll be right back with your next check of weather. Don't go anywhere.
Hey,
hard. What's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this.
You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better.
Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Hey Adam, so when is the rain gonna stop?
Not until about 2 a.m. If we take one look at our Tuesday rain planner, we're gonna see that rain is going to be steady through about 8 p.m. for sure, 10 p.m. most likely, 12 p.m. I'm gonna say it is, but by 2 a.m. it's gonna be about a 25% chance. But for the rest of the week, it's looking pretty nice overall. Saturday is a standout with 56 degrees. You might see a little bit of rain by the night. Sunday, it will be raining in the afternoon. And at our 7-day forecast, Monday is looking really nice. It's gonna be 57 degrees, unfortunately windy and humid. But Tuesday, we're gonna be seeing the second rain of the week with some afternoon showers, high of 55 and low of 43.
Thanks so much, Adam. With fall beginning in full swing and Halloween right around the corner, pumpkins are in high demand. If you pass through Ernie Davis Dining Hall, you can participate in a fun pumpkin contest. According to this sign in the building, if you guess the weight of the pumpkin on display, you can win a major award. This prize consists of 3 pizzas of your choice, a pan of tenders, beverages, and frosted brownies to be pre-arranged for pickup.
Now let's take a look at the actual pumpkin itself. It is right there. So when you go and you guess in person, you cannot attempt to pick it up. The prize goes to the earliest and closest guess to the nearest 1/10 of a pound. You cannot go over the weight if you want to win. All right, guys. So how much do you think this weighs?
I've walked past this pumpkin maybe 30 or 40 times since it's been here, and it's just really blending in with all the surroundings. I really couldn't tell you the weight of it. Also my excuse, because I have no idea.
I want to go with like 50 pounds.
50 pounds? Are we going to go over under 49?
I'll go 51.
You don't think
51. So? That's all the time we have for you this evening. Hey, make sure to follow us on Citrus TV News on our social media platforms. You can also find us on Twitter. I'm Jonah Karp.
And I'm Lilia. Have a great evening, Syracuse.